I know you like these little previews about the Slaptail Squad, so here we go. This week on the Slaptail Squad, the squad assembles and has just a casual conversation about, well, I don't know, things that we enjoy about our family and things that ticks us off about our family. I don't know. It was just a fun conversation because that's what we do because we're the Slaptail Squad. So let's get slapping.
Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you're listening to this, you're a member of the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? Well, I'm the Beaveman, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and Lord High Commander of the great Slaptail Nation army. And with me today is my number two in the Uniden. Do you know what the Uniden means, Ronz?
I have no idea.
It's the den of the Unabomber because you look like the fucking Unabomber in your little den. Because you, my number two, the Ronz.
Hey, Beaveman, just woke up from a coma, and it's still a fucked up world.
You are absolutely right. I am not going to argue with you about that.
You're on 10 today, Ron.
Well, at least we can't tell that he hasn't had any sleep because he just said he had a great coma.
It's not going to stop him from being an immature toddler and yawning all the way through the podcast, though.
True.
I'm sorry, I'm the only one that seems to work fucking nights, not days like everybody else.
Except
I can't look bougie.
When do you sleep?
No. I cannot look bougie like Tromondae.
What?
I mean, look at him.
I don't even know what that word means. What the fuck does bougie mean?
It means you look like really intense, kind of
like
sexy.
Applebee's. It's not. No.
No.
Fancy.
It's like that's your definition of it.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, he doesn't know the definition of the word that he brought up.
Also with us today, sitting next to me here in the Beaver Den, the Beaver Lodge, no longer is she in the Beaver Gash and hasn't been for quite some time, is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Also with us, looking extremely stylish,
trying
to make the rest of us look like, I don't know, like slobs. Although we do notice that half of his head is cut off. I don't know why that is. There you go. Is the ever suave, the eloquent, our own sexual chocolate, our own personal pudding pop, Tromondae.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see who fucks this up. Good afternoon, Tromondae.
Good afternoon,
Swan.
Good afternoon.
No.
Yes. I thought I was going to do it like Ronz. I was going to fuck it up on purpose.
Swan.
Yes.
A good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ronz.
Yes.
Good job, Ronz. Good job.
A good afternoon.
A good afternoon to you too, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we get really too far into it, I have never in my life met a scientist who was working on AI in all these years that AI has been around. I've never run into anybody that was a scientist, or even did I know of how I would go about meeting anybody like that. But yet in this week, I have met two of them. Tell me that is not the universe and synchronicity. Ronz, you out of all of us, plus me, are the only one who's probably familiar with synchronicity.
I would love to know how you met these scientists.
He just avoided that because he's like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Knows what I'm talking about.
I know.
Ronz is a synchronicity person, just like I
am. Where everything kind of
just gels,
comes together as one.
Just falls into place. These weird coincidences, just random. Much like if I'm in the house with the Swan, and let's say I'm looking at t-shirts with unicorns on them from T-Turtle. Before the advent of intelligent smart devices or anything, it would have been the universe speaking to us if Swan had nowhere came to me and said, hey, I really like unicorns. That would have been a synchronicity. She didn't know that I was looking at unicorn t-shirts. But now, of course, our smartphones just look and see what we've looked at. And, of course, she would get an ad for unicorns. The reason why it's interesting.
I was wondering how you were going to bring her into it. But, yeah, I see what you're saying with that.
But that's not a synchronicity now because our smartphones just know that the stuff that we look at, and it looks at what other devices are in our house, and of course they can just show that way and send her own little
So
ad.
on that, when you say something highly intelligent, which you often do, when the Swan says something highly intelligent, which she often doesn't, is that synchronicity?
What did you say? Which she often doesn't.
He wants me to start it out with "Go fuck yourself, Ronz."
That's harsh. It was really,
Oh no,
really
you
harsh.
came after me. I'm just returning the favor.
I just thought it was interesting, Ronz, because it is very interesting. I think that's one of the fun things about the job that I do is I get to talk to people that do all kinds of different jobs, and I always like to ask people what they do just for fun. Because
Wait a minute, did we not have a conversation of that's probably one of the it's not rude, but it's actually considered one of the top things that Americans do?
No. I ask because of my profession.
Ah.
So in other words, if I'm taking a history and you tell me my back really hurts, and I ask you what you do for a living, like if you're somebody who, like you, who has to load up packages or whatever all the time, and you're like, oh, my right shoulder really hurts. I'm like, okay, what do you do for a living? And you tell me about it.
Picking
And then
up
that's when you
big
said
black hoses.
Yeah.
It's related to his assessment of what
Yeah.
their complaint is. So he's not just asking them randomly as like a odd conversation of meeting the guy in the park and be like, hey, yeah, what do you do for a living? No.
Yeah, take packages for the face.
You're the one who put it in that context.
No, because Tromondae was there if you didn't hear his comments.
Oh boy.
But no.
Anyway, it's a synchronicity.
Anyway.
Tromondae, this is why it's a synchronicity. It's a synchronicity because we did a podcast about AI where we talked about artificial intelligence. And then that was planned before I ever talked to two scientists who are working on artificial intelligence. So therefore, that is the universe all of a sudden syncing up. That's why we call it synchronicity. Anyway.
Does some people call it coincidence?
Look.
Sure.
That's not the universe. A coincidence is not the universe talking to you, Tromondae. Fucking coincidence. What is this, 1942?
Just saying.
You're thinking on a very small scale, Tromondae. You gotta open your mind.
I'm thinking that maybe some AI was listening and that's why you got those.
Nah.
Ooh.
How about that?
No, anyway.
Yeah, the algorithm aligned up for you.
There's no algorithm. If it was an algorithm, then is it AI?
Hold on. Let's see how smart the Swan is. What is an algorithm?
Your mom.
Okay.
Anyway, the scientist I was talking to, she told me not to be worried about Skynet.
Good.
Although I told her I welcomed our robot overlords.
So do you want me to tell you what an algorithm really is? It's like a flow map of all the possibilities of a certain whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, we use algorithms
we use them all the time.
Algorithms are part of our job, Ronz.
Yeah.
So she knows how to push the button on the microwave because she's a stay-at-home person.
Algorithms are part of our job as nurses. We have algorithms that we follow, treatment algorithms. So do doctors, nurse practitioners, PAs. We have treatment algorithms. It actually
can you describe one?
Sure.
Chest pain.
Chest pain.
I mean, that's fine. Easy. That's an easy one. Then do you have chest pain? Yes or no? Yes. Do this. Like, no. Go down the tree.
Has this person had an aspirin? No. Give them aspirin. Has this person have unremitting chest pain? Have you given them nitro? No. Give them nitro. After 5 minutes, has their chest pain been relieved? No.
You're talking about I see what you're talking about. The flow chart.
No,
that's an algorithm.
That's an algorithm.
Yeah. It has
one of many. Yeah, I get it.
It has an end or a stopping point. If you reach is chest pain resolve, you stop. If you don't, you keep going.
An algorithm as part of my master's program.
You did.
I wouldn't say it was great, but I did one. And there you have it. It was all right. It was fine.
So, Ronz, do you want to explain what an algorithm is then?
Well, I thought it was basically a mathematical code that when you sort of like what is it? Faraday's magnetic principle.
I like.
He's going to try to take it all scientific like that. He's like,
no. You're right. You're exactly right. I didn't think of it as a flow chart.
Isn't this?
I thought it more as a long sequence of a mathematical equation with an outcome.
Well, I mean, that could be an algorithm for something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Isn't this
So I didn't
much
think of it like the way you
this
did.
much like Bilbo Baggins's algorithm for returning the ring to Mordor? Oh no, that was Frodo. No, ours are specific. They're called treatment algorithms. The algorithm is actually in
the title.
So an algorithm is anything, which means if this point is met, go to this. If that point's not met, go to this. I'm sure it's the same thing with basic programming. I don't know. I don't do that shit. Who knows?
I mean, I guess.
However, back to AI. Oh, go ahead, Tromondae.
So then is sex an algorithm?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. Like you hold her hand. If she lets you hold her hand, then you kiss her. If she lets you kiss her, then you go to this. You know.
I mean,
that's an interesting thing.
Why'd you pick a girl, Tromondae?
Because I was looking at
why in your algorithm did you use a woman as an example?
Because I was looking at you in the Swan.
I see. I thought you were trying to mix it up a little bit. No.
He's like, definitely no. Hard pass. No. So if it's your algorithm, is it female? Hard pass. No.
Does this man look like a female? If man looks like female, not interested. Go.
No.
Oh, funny. Too funny. Anyway.
I don't know.
So
like, longest
love
introduction
an actual
ever.
thing, or is it just an algorithm?
No, he's not going to ask. It's like, will the AI will it recognize love? What's with you and love, man? I don't know about you. You're always all about the love.
Always about the love. Well, we talk about free will. I mean, do we actually have free will?
Nobody talked about free will. Nobody said anything about that. Nobody even said it. I was giving you an update. The person I talked to said, "Don't worry, Sky. Don't worry about Skynet." Actually, let me tell you what she said. I'm paraphrasing. This is kind of what she said. She said, AI isn't as scary as you think it is, but it kind of is," or something like that.
You're like, "Oh, gee, thanks."
I was like, are you trying to make me feel better, or are you trying to make me feel worse? I don't know. But I, for one, welcome our robot overlords, so it's fine. I just wanted to give you that little bit of an update. I thought it was funny.
Very funny.
It's very, very cool.
Anyways.
Tremondae, you had funny stories you wanted to tell us about this week. Was that your thing?
Yeah, I was just thinking about, like, has there ever been like family events where something funny or something that could have been taken serious but came out to be a funny experience like that happened at like family events?
No. Moving on.
No. I mean, if you ask that question, does that mean you have a funny story that happened
usually,
to you?
Yeah, usually if you want to bring that up, you have something that you have to tell us. What is it that you have to tell us?
He's just trying to get insight on what happens at our families. This is like perfectly normal. He's like, oh.
Yeah, because so like what sparked the idea? Because like I'm traveling to see my family for the holiday. And
what holiday? Is there a holiday coming up?
4th of July.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I work.
You probably do.
I was like, am I missing something?
Is it Monday?
Yes.
Well, it's observed on Monday.
I work.
So yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, like, does anything happen at your family gatherings? Or has anything happened at your family gatherings that?
Mostly rage. That's what happens at my family gatherings.
Why is that?
Why? I don't know how most people feel about their family, and it's actually pretty insulting because if I look at, say, my cousin's family in Los Angeles, in the LA area, they hang out pretty frequently. I mean, there probably isn't a weekend. I would say probably like 2 weekends out of the month, I would guess that they're all hanging out together. That means mom, all the kids, not all the kids because some of them are in other areas, but I mean, you might have like 7 or 8 of them hanging out. Like you hang out with your brother and their family, and I'm like, this is so crazy to me because my family doesn't do that. And they all get along and they all have fun and they all tease each other and they enjoy their time together. Whereas if I go hang out with my family, I just have this, a lot of times I can't deal with it for very long because I start to get really angry.
Why?
Just being in their presence.
It's like differing opinions or Yeah, that can't we all get along doesn't happen. Even though it's like subtle, it just doesn't.
So there's
They're
subtle
they're all
undertone
too
of
different. Yeah, they're all too different. Like personality wise and
well,
Would you like?
personality wise, it shouldn't matter. I mean, if you try to get along, but is it sort of like this backhanded
Oh,
stabbing?
you saying it's my fault?
I never said that, but
that sounds like what
you
you're
know,
saying is it's
if
the
they're only
man's
getting
fault.
angry when you show up,
No, that's
it
not what
might.
no, I feel like they do it to each other as well.
I don't know if they make each other angry. I think that they're not very perceptive. I think that's my family's problem.
Maybe.
Do you wish it was, or do you want it to be different?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. And I don't know how this became a discussion about the Beaveman's family.
By all means,
But here's
maybe it was the AI.
Here's the thing. Now, this is what it's probably the Dunning-Kruger effect, Ronz.
Oh God, bringing that back around.
Well, Ronz is going to say it's AI for the next 3 weeks.
He
For the next
probably
3
will,
podcasts.
yeah.
I probably will.
Ron's going to insist on saying it's probably the AI. That's what he's going to do. No, here's I don't even remember what I was going to say about my family.
I feel like you were gonna say something about how you really wish you would have been born into your LA family because you fit them much better.
Oh, here's what I was going to say was that the relationships that my family has of not being close for some reason keeps getting blamed on me by my mother. In other words, she keeps saying that I need to make it better between everybody so that the family's closer. And then she dumps that on me. And I'm like, why don't you dump that on the rest of the family instead of always saying that I'm the one that needs to bring everybody together?
Yeah,
Are
because
you
I
the
feel
eldest?
no, he's the forgotten middle child,
middle
so it
child.
shouldn't be his responsibility at all. It should be like the older one or the baby to bring it all back together, but not the middle one.
Well, okay. So, have you asked yourself, or have you asked the others, why?
Which why question are you? Which why are
Exactly.
you asking? Because it's a
So,
big why.
Why does she
Yeah,
dump it
yeah,
on
there's
you,
a big why, but
or
have
why
you
is there
asked
this
why they're
problem?
exactly? Why is
All of
there
it.
this
No,
problem? Why
there's
is, yeah,
multiple
all of
whys.
it.
Which why are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. Have you just say
He
that?
doesn't know. He doesn't know how the vajayjay works. He's never eaten there.
Yeah, there
He's
we go.
never been there.
Well, first of all, it's a generic blank statement. So you go, why is it like that, Mom? Why do you think I need to bring everything together? And maybe there's that. Maybe they can figure that out and tell you, well, it's because of your success as a podcaster, and you know Tromondae and the Ronz, and you married the Swan.
Yeah,
and
you don't
got
make
two
any
great
sense.
kids.
You're not making any sense, Ronz.
He's
You know
taking
what
it
I-
off on a.
You know what
You
I
are
thought
not
Ron was
making
about
any
to say? I thought Ron's about to say, "Why must I feel like that? Why must I chase the cat?" You know the? Have you heard that song before? It's like an old hip hop song, but yeah.
Oh, can you sing
Maybe,
it for
you know,
us?
Can I just sing it a little bit? Yeah.
No, because it's like more of like rapping. I'm not.
Okay, well, come on, let's do it. Let's hear it.
I'm a church boy.
Did you know I used
You
to
can
rap?
do it in church
You used to
fashion.
rap?
Mm-hmm.
What did you used to rap?
Oh, this is kind of funny. Is the Little Powder Donut posted on her Facebook? She had boombox. What cassette would be in your boombox?
Oh yeah.
And Ron's, what did you put? You put like the Eagles or
Modern
something?
English.
Oh, modern
Melt.
English. Okay.
I would melt with you.
Okay, cool. All right, and so I put down Fat Boys Crushin'. That was what was in my boombox. No, I used to rap. Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Swan? What would
Photo.
your music be?
Why are you getting off track?
Yeah, why are you getting off track? The Beastie Boys? I don't know. That was probably in my
License to
boombox.
Ill?
Yeah,
That was also
License to
that would've
Ill.
been my other one too.
Well, the thing is, you see how you brought everybody together, and it was great. Your little question brought everybody together.
And you should probably do that with your family.
And there's the Swan trying to subvert you to break the family apart. So I don't think it's you. I think it's the Swan trying to break everybody apart just so she can have you all to herself.
No, not at all. Not at all, Ronz. Okay.
Anyway, so no,
Anyway.
when my mom asks me says that stuff to me, I'm like, you're talking to the wrong. I don't have I actually don't think that our family has too much in common. It's kind of sad. Because my father infuriates me with almost everything he says, and he's not trying to. He's just being himself. My older brother infuriates me because he's also infuriated by what my dad said, but he's exactly like my dad. So I'm like, should you? I don't think that you guys should be. You are pretty much carbon copies of each other. And then my little brother infuriates me because he thinks that I am something that I'm not. And so everything I say, he gets mad about. Doesn't matter what it is, he gets mad. And so I'm like, why am I here? So I try not to spend, it's sad, but I try not to spend too much time with all of them.
So I'm going to ask a very, very simple question. Do you have any commonality with your family?
Yeah, but
Yeah, we're related.
yeah, they all have the same mother,
They have black hair.
same
They all
mother,
have black hair.
same father. No, your dad
Okay,
doesn't
so
have black
that's
hair.
it. I mean,
Oh, I meant the
it's sort
brothers.
of like, my hobbies and my life. None of my brothers, none of my sisters have the same, do what I do.
Oh, no.
So,
He's going to mention it.
Oh, he is.
He is.
No.
He's just
What are you
dying to.
What are you
Yeah, he's
referring to,
sucking up.
Ronz?
What hobby?
oh, like a geocache, right? So they don't do what I do. I hike, right?
What else?
I like to basically,
Yeah?
I like to teach. So I'll be teaching, right? I'll be teaching a geocache course. They don't like to teach. They don't like to be around other people.
What else do you like to teach?
Oh, I like to teach computers. So when I talk about computers and Linux, right? They're not on board with that. So it's
Neither
like,
is 93.8% of the world.
I get that.
Like
I
the
get that.
modern,
So,
most of the modern world is not with it either. It's like,
but
hell,
you
man.
notice how the Beaveman talked about AI, and oh my God, there we go. Yeah, I'm a computer nerd or a geek, right? No one likes to do the RPG stuff or go to Geek Fest or a free comic book day or do comics, right? I set myself apart from that. So I feel pretty much when I get together with my brothers or my sisters, I'm the only one that does this stuff, right? So,
well, but does it infuriate you?
not as much as you would think, because they're all individuals. But then they go, because I do other things, they're like, well, have you tried it like this? I'm like, do you do the hobby that I do? And then maybe I'll look at it through your eyes.
How about this question then? Here's a question for you.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
There you go.
Let me ask you all this question then. Okay, if you were at a family gathering,
Yes,
and maybe people are starting to annoy you, which clearly never happens to Tromondae because he's fucking perfect.
always.
Do you ever imagine just punching somebody in the fucking throat in your family?
Yes.
Occasionally.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Ronz. I'm assuming that I can also depend on Swan for their positive response. Okay.
Yes.
Tromondae?
Yes.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay, do you have an example? Like a little scenario that happened that made you feel like that?
Or a scenario,
Or-
if you will.
Yeah.
Don't think too long, Tromondae. It's an audio medium. People can't see you.
I
He's
know.
in deep thought right now.
Yes, well, we don't like giant pauses. So when he starts to pause, when we ask him a question, I just
Because
keep talking.
that's a deep question. Like that's not light. So
So
I have to
Tromondae
give
gets
thought to
along
it.
with everybody. To say that he likes to throw punch somebody, it's got to be very severe.
I mean, I do too get frustrated with family and things.
Like what? I can't see you being frustrated. I mean,
Well, you let me answer the
but-
question.
but
How
it's
about,
not-
you know what frustrates me? People who don't know how to say frustrated.
well, you know what? You got that right.
Oh,
No, see,
God.
in that context, it's okay.
in the right
Ronz.
context. Correct there.
Okay.
Tromondae, are you going to answer the question?
so-
or are you just
so-
going to keep...
So something that frustrates me, at like funerals,
Mhm.
The dead person
When
in the coffin.
Shut up, Ronz. Let him tell his story. Jeez, gosh.
when they have the moments when family can come up and they get their 2 minutes to speak, you will often hear families say, "We need to get together more. We need to stop just coming together when someone passes away," right?
Okay.
And then someone puts something together, and then what happens?
Nobody shows up.
Nobody shows up, and then we're at the next funeral, and then it repeats itself.
You know what you should do when that happens? You should go up to the casket and go, you know what? Everybody comes up here and says that we should get together more often than for funerals. I think we should fight diabetes. That's what you should say. I think we should fight diabetes and heart disease. I think that's probably a better idea. What do you guys think? Because that's why we have to keep getting together for funerals.
That would be good. Yo,
Yeah.
you need to put that in a stand-up bit. That is fucking hilarious.
I should do that.
Write
You
that down.
should.
I should do
Like
that.
you should
Mark
write that
it.
down right
I'll
now.
write that down
Can we go
right
to
now.
commercial so you can write it down?
Hey there, members of the Great Slaptail Nation. It's me, the Beaveman, and I'm here to deliver you a message from beyond the stars about our sponsor for this episode, Swiss Navy. No matter who you love or how you love, Swiss Navy products set the bar for sexual enhancement. There's more glide, more comfort, and even products for longer-lasting pleasure. Swiss Navy has a wide range of premium products to choose from for whatever amount fills your hole, if you know what I mean. My favorite product is Swiss Navy's silicone lube. Get it, use it, love it, and never be dry again. Once again, that's Swiss Navy at SwissNavy.com. And in your order comments, let them know the Slaptail Squad sent you. Swiss Navy, no matter who you love or how you love. Adios, mooch fuckos. You know, not the most subtle way for us to go to commercial, but that's okay. I'm fine with it.
It's okay.
It doesn't really matter. Ronz, don't forget that you're on mute.
We might like him on mute.
That's true also.
No, I realized I was on mute. It tells me, but I didn't want to over talk. And what do I hear?
As a person of color, that was a funny ass joke. Like that was hilarious. That was good.
Yeah, you got to know your demographic.
That was good. Yeah.
I would have,
So
I'd
you're
have a
gonna
different
do
one
it.
for white people when I get up there.
You're going to do it,
We need to
right?
fight obesity. That's there.
I'm going to take Beaveman to my next funeral and say, he's going to be my voice.
And now,
and
2 minutes.
stand here in front of me.
I'll be up there. I'll be like, tough room. It's a tough room. Anyway. Okay, so here's the thing though, is back to that whole punch thing. To me, I always want to punch the same person. It never varies. I'm always like, man, I just like to punch you one.
Is that because it goes all the way back to childhood? Like you've wanted to punch that same person the
I've
entire.
punched him.
Well, okay. I'm just saying, is it just a thing between both of you from childhood?
Every time I start to like him, he annoys me.
Right.
Every time I get really close to being like, you know what, he's finally come down to earth and he's not an opinionated asshole, he'll say something that just annoys the fuck out of me.
I think that's like called sibling rivalry or sibling.
I was just gonna say that.
You know, right?
I
don't want to punch my little brother.
I mean, I feel like you probably
Although he probably does need to be punched.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like you have, but you have to be big brother over him. Still,
I've never
Not
punched my
really.
little brother.
No,
I'm saying
no.
you're too big brother over him. You wouldn't punch him.
No,
Like,
no.
The
I agree
age
with the B man.
difference.
No. At some point,
Ron, why did you keep saying no?
He's like, no, punch him.
no.
Punch him.
because
Punch
the
him,
Swan
man.
is wrong. The Swan. You see, my younger brother, right? I'm the oldest, so they're all younger than me. But my younger brother is annoying, and I can understand where the B man comes from. So I'm going to give you an example. I have a juice cup right here, right?
Right.
This juice cup.
That's the right we don't want to hear.
Yeah. This juice cup, he's got an identical one. Identical in every sense of the way down to the molecular structure. But his is so much better because his can fly. Mine can glide through the air, but his can fly. Mine is, it's got that silver stuff on, but his is shiny, real shiny. So there's that sibling rivalry. Like, dude, can't you accept that we have the identical thing? No. I have it better than you.
He's a one-upper.
Oh, yeah, extremely. So instead of being, humble or I'm being humble, right? And I'm pretty sure the B-man's really humble when he's around his brother. It's like, hey, listen, you know what? I just got this thing in the mail. I think it was great. Oh, I got that 5 weeks ago. And it's like this. It's so phenomenal. Oh, mine does the same thing. But mine is so much better.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that would be annoying.
At some point, you just want to go, would you shut the fuck up?
Yeah. You know how I fix them?
How's that?
When you're having those discussions, you'd be like, hey, you know what? Oh, yeah? Well, I invented the color blue.
Oh, back to that. Yeah.
Back to that right there.
Yes, it is actually funny when she does it because everybody else laughs except that person that
Because
she
they
says
just
that to.
don't get it usually.
And
Or
they're like,
then
what?
they're.
You what?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, what I find annoying is that the little one, the little fella, the little brother.
Yeah.
He has a lot of the same interests as me. But
That's
yet,
what I think is funny about it.
But yet if I talk with him about something like that I also like, my opinion's always wrong. His is always right. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, damn straight.
The
Yeah.
funniest
so
one
weird.
was you guys were talking about comics and you're like, and you both like Batman and you were talking about Batman, the blah, blah, blah series. And he's like, oh yeah, no, that one's terrible. This one's so much better. And this writer is so much better. And blah, 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 blah. That one's not even a great series. They shouldn't even bring it out.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What?
And you're like, really? Like, because like 80,000 people like Batman.
Yeah,
and,
but not only, but he gets mad, like actually mad at me.
and he's defending
like,
his point of view on why that Batman graphic novel is not good. Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've got 12 more years of Batman reading on him, but that's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah. And if I like a movie that he likes or that he's watched, if I like it, he doesn't like it. It's always the opposite. He never agrees with me about anything. And I'm like, it's really hard to try to have a bonding experience with someone who just refuses to bond with you. But yet if my son had said, oh, I really like this movie, he could like the same movie as me. Yep. And then my little brother would agree with him that it was a good movie.
Yep.
Yet if I say it, it's not.
Yep. I get it. So I really do.
So I'm just like, well, let him bond with my children then.
And it's kind of weird because like the age difference is almost like the same, the opposite way. So he's that much years older than your kid. So then he's like,
he's directly in the middle of us.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when your mother harps on you about these things, as mine does, I'm like, I've tried. So what do you want me to do? Keep trying over and over again?
You are the peacemaker.
And be in the situations that's just not fun for you. So you get to be miserable to make the rest of them happy.
Here's a simple solution. The simplest you can come up with, and it'll work every time.
Be quiet.
Bring Tromondae. No, bring Tromondae with you.
Oh, yeah. Bring my black friend. That'll go over.
my
black gay friend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that'll go over great, Ronz.
So why does he have to be black and gay?
Because he's black and gay. Because he's black and gay. He's a twofer.
Would they find that offensive?
Well, we find it like
Well, let's put it this way. I would not bring Tromondae to meet my older brother or my father. My mother, yes. My brother and my dad, no. Because
now,
they're
this
assholes.
is interesting. Why is that?
I just said because they're assholes.
Yeah, but Tromondae has this way of calming everybody down.
You can't calm down ignorant. You can't calm ignorance, Ronz. You can't make people calm who have a Band-Aid on ignorance. Stupid notions.
Mm-mm.
Hold on. No, first of all, you don't understand.
Okay? You're probably right. I don't.
No, I'm trying to explain it to you, but you keep talking.
Well, I was going to say real quick, there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity.
Oh, God, Ronz. Are you going to keep doing that?
Yeah, okay. Ignorance can be, you can learn, but stupidity you can't. So
I wish you would give us this definition every podcast.
I will, every podcast. Anyway, continue. I won't interrupt.
Are we any closer to AI, Ronz?
No. Why wouldn't you want to bring Tromondae? Because you just said because they're assholes. That's it.
My older brother thinks it's against God's law to be gay. And has taught his children that also. And he's a minister. So I would never bring someone who's gay around my older brother. And my father, who's married to a brown woman, is racist.
Wow. I don't think I knew that.
I think I've said it like a shitload of times.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
And the funny part is, I don't think he thinks he is, though. Right?
Well, he's a typical white man.
Yeah.
He's a typical privileged. I mean, his way of. I mean, they rule the world. I mean, basically. So yeah. I mean, he used to tell racist jokes all the time. He still kind of does. And my mom's, not to do that thing again, but my mom's best friend from from as long as I can remember is black.
Hmm.
Yeah. So no, I would never bring. Yeah. I mean, I would allow them to meet him if they were at my home,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never take Tromondae to a family function to meet those assholes because I would not do that to Tromondae.
Yeah, why would you
Right.
put poor little Tromondae into
Right.
that environment
Another
willingly?
little baby.
No,
So
he's just a baby.
let's flip the script here. Tromondae, would you take the Beaveman to a family reunion?
I've met his family.
Yeah, his
Mhm.
family's fun.
Well, let
Family's
him
fucking
answer,
cool.
not you.
His family's
It's his
cool.
question.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now he probably wouldn't take you.
I
No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I
want to go to Tromondae's church.
I
Oh
don't.
yeah, that's a good time.
I don't. I don't want
You
to go to
don't?
church.
I don't.
You'll
I
be
don't.
there for hours.
No, I don't. Exactly. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
You know they serve some good food.
Again,
We,
why
we
are
don't
we
serve food
fighting?
after every
Why are we
Sunday.
fighting diabetes and heart disease?
Okay, I want to
No.
go on the Sunday that they serve food.
You don't have to put hot sauce on everything.
You don't?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
do.
You know how much sodium is in hot sauce?
Well, you can get non-sodium hot sauce.
Oh
It probably tastes
the
great.
same. Totally tastes the same.
Give me
So-
that low sodium, Franks. No, no.
That low
So
sodium,
I would
right?
go to Tromondae's church as long as one requirement was met. Would
Yeah,
he be
on a
sing-
roll
that they let
today.
you in? That they
Well,
let you
yeah,
in?
as long as would he be singing in the choir?
You are so gay.
So
And I
good.
mean
Why?
that. And I
I
mean
would
that
love
in
to
the
see
most.
Tromondae perform in the choir.
I bet you'd like to see him perform.
Jeez.
You'd like to see him perform. You'd like to see him perform oral.
Well, is it singing rather oral?
I knew he was going to say that. So he's
Wow,
trying to
that's an AI
he's
predicament.
trying to justify his use of the word oral.
There you go.
How
I
did
mean,
AI
I don't-
pop up again?
Yeah. I don't have a reason why I would go to church, but if Tromondae was in the choir saying, "Hey, I'm going to be in the choir that day," I would go to see it.
I would like to go to church to see Tremonti's oral presentation.
There you go.
I hear he's a
If I
master.
could blush, I would right now.
I heard he's a master oralator. Ronz, the word is orator. It's
Yeah, I was going to say orator, but you know what? No matter what I say, you're going to mess it up anyway. So it makes it sound like I'm an idiot. So
You do a pretty good job on your own.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that
you
too.
do a great
You
job.
did.
You do a great job.
Yeah.
I don't know how this became a discussion about my family
Okay, I have a funny one. So we were
in Detroit.
halfway between here and Detroit.
Where you from?
I'm from
Where you from?
Detroit. Usually I meet my cute little grandma and my aunt halfway between here and Detroit. So we met. We're hanging out, doing our little thing. There's a little group of us together. And all of a sudden my grandma was telling a story. Shut up, Ron. You're that bored that you yawn.
No, he's a toddler.
He is a
can't help
toddler.
himself.
He can't help
Oh my
himself.
God!
That's
I
why
just
if
woke up.
you have a mute button. Okay, when I wake up in the morning, I don't spend the freaking first 2 hours yawning.
I'm pretty sure you don't wake up and go straight into podcasting either.
Oh my God, your life is anybody
Oh my
else's
God!
life
Oh my
as
God!
hard as
Ron.
Ron's?
So hard.
Ron.
I just worked 8 hours and now I am podcasting. I should be exhausted.
Ron, you should go get
yes.
that. You should go
It is
get
hard
that.
to work from your house to go
Here's
get a cup of
and
coffee.
Here's another thing that I find interesting about the Rons when he bitches about how hard his job is. Nobody told you to not get a fucking education, Ron.
No, you know what? And you're right. All I did was fucking yawn, and all of a sudden that was it.
You got
That's
a
all
mute
I
button.
did.
You have a mute button, motherfucker. I have to edit out your bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why you're the sound engineer. Duh. All right. Anyway, go on.
Once again, blue collar Rons, nobody told you not to get an education and get a job where you didn't have to take a package in the face. The only people who should be doing that for money are porn stars.
Yeah.
I love your enthusiasm, Swan. Yeah. Anyway, continue
your
your
story.
story.
So my cute little grandma's
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Tromondae. What?
No, because my question was about porn and yours
Oh.
is about your grandma.
That's okay.
So
You can
that's
segue in.
the grandma
We
story.
We can bring it back to porn.
We can bring it back to porn.
Well, we gotta space it.
We can bring it back to porn.
You have to space it out a little bit, like 2 minutes after you tell a story about her grandmother, because
Yeah,
otherwise you'll make
nothing
it
says a
weird.
good podcast
Right,
like porn
right.
and grandma.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you've probably
They
looked
have
that up,
porn.
Ronz.
They have porn.
So my grandma's
It's
talking.
called gilf porn.
Ew. That's gross.
I mean, whatever.
Right.
Not that I've seen it, but
Yeah.
I mean, being a gilf doesn't mean you're old in the first place. I mean,
You can be. Yeah, you're true. So my grandma said, my aunt was talking about how my
talk
grandma.
about the really old gilf porn.
Can you shut up
there's a
so that I
category for
can
that,
tell
too.
my story, or
Please.
I'm gonna have to start all over again.
Please.
I'm pretty sure the B-Man should clear his browser history at some point.
I have a private setting. I have a privacy browser setting.
Good to know. So my aunt was talking about her concern because my grandma is elderly, cute little grandma, going to be 97 on her birthday, which is the 4th of July. Happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Grandma. She listens to our podcast every week.
No, that's why I'm telling this story. So my aunt is talking about how she's getting more concerned as she gets older that she should just leave her laundry upstairs and my aunt will come over once a week and do her laundry for her because her laundry is downstairs. So she goes down.
So would she have to leave her laundry upstairs?
Yeah, because she doesn't want her going up and down the stairs and falling and breaking a hip or, whatever, dropping the laundry basket and falling down the stairs with it. And my grandma was like, no, I always do laundry. I just carry it up one piece at a time, a little piece at a time. She's like, oh, great, going up and down the stairs even more often. I don't know which one's worse. So she's like, yeah, I just did laundry the other day and I had to do a whole nother load. And it was just 2 things because I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but she's like, I thought it was just going to be a little fart and a piece came out. And sure, I was like, Grandma, you sharted. And she's like, what? And she's like, no, just a little piece came out. I thought I was going to die. Baby Swan was dying. So yeah, she turned a perfectly safe conversation about safety into how she sharted.
Little piece.
Grandma.
Little piece. Yep.
That's not truly a shart, though. I mean, is it?
I don't know.
I mean, if you should, a shart is when you Hershey squirt it a bit, right? Isn't it? I mean, you gotta actually. I just need some clarification.
I guess.
I'm just sorry. I feel like a shart is just. I feel like that's mostly poo particles.
Well, it is just a bigger poo particle. It's like a poo asteroid.
I mean, the way she's talking, she kind of launched. I mean, Sharonnie is suffering over there.
Did you say a Hershey squirt?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I mean, I guess
from Grandma's description, it sounds like she literally launched a raisin.
Yeah, probably just a little raisin came out.
Oh my god.
Well, one thing she doesn't have is an impacted bowel then.
Well, how do you know?
Ron.
You can still go around, and actually you would be more likely to Hershey squirt around your impaction.
Yeah, Ronz.
How did your mind get there, Ron?
Because we're talking about fecal, and that's where the B-Man went a couple podcasts ago.
Hey, Ronz, I just want to ask you something. How's your mental?
Yeah, how's your mental, Ronz?
How's your mental, Ronz?
It's getting better. Some days it's better than most.
Oh, you're...
So I appreciate the offer, even though you're being sarcastic. I will say that. Thank you for asking.
Good to know.
Oh man.
You're welcome.
Oh man.
So yeah.
We make light of it, but in the reality of it, that's the difference between someone doing something god awful and.
I believe the question is dumb.
Yeah, I think
how's your mental is a weird way to say.
Yeah,
it.
if you were talking to your
and that's
friend,
a difference of opinion. That's a difference of opinion, and I get it.
My opinion is shared by most people.
Why don't we get the opinion of our resident Tromondae? That, he takes either side and he's the calming presence. Why don't you ask that question to him and see what he thinks, Ronz?
Why? You've asked it, so it doesn't need to be asked.
So if someone just came up to you, Tromondae, that or you work with, and they just said, hey, how's your mental? What would you think of that question?
Framed that way,
Yeah, just
I will
hey.
find it to be very disrespectful because it sounds as though they're implying something is mentally wrong with me, as opposed to, I believe, asking like, "How are you doing mentally?" is one thing, but to say, "How's your mental?" Just the framing of that, for me, it would be difficult to answer. Like, I would first have a conversation with them to help them re-articulate their question.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a rude question. I think it's a very nice question that you say, Ronz. I just think it's a
Yeah, it's
weird.
okay
I think
to-
it's a bizarre way to articulate it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
I mean, especially since you're having conversations with your fellow veteran, which is cool. I mean, literally, in that case, I would probably just go up to him and say, "Hey, bro, buddy check." They know what that means. We all know. I mean, us vets all know what that means.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Otherwise, you just sound like a fucking crazy person.
Yeah, and then maybe
You
he
say,
might.
"How's your mental?" And plus, you're also saying it where other people might overhear you saying mental.
That's what I was thinking.
Whereas
Is
because we're all vets, the person you're talking to knows what it means to say buddy check. You're like, hey, what's up, bro? Buddy check. They know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm sure you know what that. I mean, I'm assuming you know what that term is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing today? You know, I mean, what's your frame of mind?
No,
You want to talk about anything?
No, you can say
No,
what
I mean-
he exact said. Buddy check. Like that's like code word for how's your mental. Instead of everybody in the room hearing you say how's your mental, and he's like, yeah, I'm feeling fucking crazy today.
Well, I was feeling fine until you brought it up. Was holding it together, but then, anyway. Anyways, what was I gonna say? I'm losing it.
So
So
I have a question for Tromondae if we're going to do the gay side Pride Chat.
The gay side pride. Okay, well, thanks for that segue.
That was seamless.
That was
It was
great.
totally.
And now it's time for that portion of the show where the ignorant members of the Slaptail Squad ask Tromondae questions about
Something gay.
something gay
Or
or
whatever.
whatever.
As my underwear.
Yeah.
Good job, Ron.
Yeah, nice. And now it's time for Prideside Chat with Tromondae. Special chocolate, our own personal pudding pop.
All right.
I like that last part because I put that in.
Whoa, you are so freaking talented.
I am. Thank you. Thank you
So,
very much.
Tromondae, the question I have for you on this segue piece is, what is a common myth that you would like to dispel about being gay?
That gay people are tolerant of stupid questions. Hi-yo!
No, you know what? I think that's it. I think that's an everyday thing, though.
Ronz?
Yes.
Hi-yo!
Hello.
Some things that like immediately comes to mind is that like not all gays are femmes, and I think we are starting to see a lot more diversity as to like how gay people do not just have one look, and most often like we were associated to be like all femmes, meaning like we were more feminine in our dress.
Feminine. By femmes, you mean feminine.
I wasn't sure
Yes.
that needed to be clarified, but thank you for that. Thank you
Well,
for that.
I just want to
Thank
make
you,
sure to our
Ronz.
listening audience out there
Thank you.
that they understand.
I like how Ron assumes
He's
that
like,
the rest of he assumes that the listening audience is as ignorant as him.
You know your audience, Ron.
Well, I'm not ignorant, but I'm not ignorant, but I
Ronz.
want them to understand that, hey,
Ronz.
yes.
Get your butt checked. Yeah, so that's one.
So what do you think the biggest common myth is?
I didn't know there was a
Why
lot
do we
of.
have
I
to,
didn't know
like-
there was a lot of myths out there.
There are. Believe it or not, there are.
So,
and that's just one of them. I mean, when you look at the, and I'm not gay, but one of the things that I tend to see is that from what Tromondae
he's just a
said
little
is
gay.
like, when you look at some of the classic movie characters that we grew up with, like Robin Williams in The Birdcage, right? Nathan Lane's character, completely feminine, right? And
Right, but Robin Williams wasn't. So it showed two different.
No, he was in certain aspects.
No,
but there were.
He wasn't anywhere as near as extreme as the other character was. He wasn't super feminine.
But that's where I was going with Tromondae. Is like he's like not everybody fits that mold.
Well, not every woman. Not every woman is super feminine either, whether they're hetero or not.
Right.
So that's true.
Some of them don't shave their legs.
Agreed.
And I like hairy legs, but to have hairy legs on a woman?
No, not a fan. Not a fan. No.
So, are there any other common myths out there that can be
clearly
dispelled?
you're the one who knows
what
the
common myths do you want him
what are
to
the
discuss
myths that
with
you want him to discuss?
Well, no. That's this is from his point of view that I don't.
Again, he's not Bigfoot.
Well, all right.
Yes, Virginia, gay people do exist.
Well, I know that. But we, like for Christmas, when I asked about the gay pride gift.
It's just pride.
And pride gift. Yeah, just pride gift.
It's literally just pride.
Pride gift. And he's like, no, I wouldn't feel offended by it. And then what really flipped me was when the Swan found out what he was getting. It's like, oh, I'd like that too. Which she threw off the gift that I'd actually gotten her because she wasn't 12 anymore.
It's all good. It's all good. He's bringing it back to himself.
Okay, well,
and his insecurity about gift giving.
Anyway, I think the point is, without getting too far into it, because that's not what our podcast is about, is that the idea of pride encompasses everybody, not just people who are part of that community. It's supposed to be for everybody. It's supposed to be about accepting life in general.
Yeah.
So just because you're a heterosexual doesn't mean you aren't part of pride.
Can't we all just get along?
Unless you're Beaveman's younger brother. No.
I think the older brother also. I think they just don't like me. Let's just be honest.
That's probably it. That's probably true.
And I think
they're jealous of your success.
I should stop trying. No, they think they're more successful than I am.
I feel that is true.
Not only do they think they're more successful than me, let's just put it this way. Both of them have tastes that are disproportionate to their lifestyle, in my opinion. The one who has the one who's more modest in everything that he does is me. Like, they want to go to expensive restaurants. I'm like, not fun, not a fan, don't like it. My favorite place to eat, one of my favorite places to eat is our local bowling alley. So I don't fit that whole thing that they do. By the way, I highly recommend you guys try our local bowling alley. Delicious cheeseburgers and beer batter fries.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to try that.
Field trip.
Field trip. So what is the other things that set you apart from them then?
Well,
other than your opinion on Batman.
I think that they're both jealous of how good looking I am.
This is dashing good looks.
I think that's not unreasonable. I think they are.
Would it be because also that you stay in shape?
Yeah,
are they out of shape?
Yeah, neither one. No, they're not in shape. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have shapes.
Ron is a shape, as we've been told.
Shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about you, Tromondae? Do you have any jealous siblings like the Beaveman or I?
No.
Why do I find that so easy to believe? Because they're so mellow.
I feel like your mom would have like
his one brother is the only one that I sort of kind of know. I can't even remember his name.
Tevin?
Yeah.
Such a nice kid.
Yes.
So I just naturally assume they're all super nice because they're
What's
just
your
well
brother's name?
behaved.
So I have a brother named Tevin. He's the baby brother, and then Cordell is in the middle.
You know, that's ironic because one of the guys I work with, his name is Tevin.
Why is that ironic?
Because you don't hear that name too often.
I think it's just a coincidence. That's not irony.
Okay.
It's AI.
It's AI.
It probably
I don't think that's ironic.
Maybe it's a
ironic.
synchronicity.
But it's not ironic.
No.
By chance, where does is Tevin employed?
Yes.
Why, you just naturally assume that he's not? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Hold on.
Well, no, he
Let
could
me
have
get
been.
some-
No, he
so
could have
wait
been.
a minute. Wait a minute,
He could have
Ron.
been a
Wait a
student.
minute, Ronz. You just naturally assume as a young black man he's unemployed. Maybe he's incarcerated. Maybe you also assume he's incarcerated.
I feel like
Maybe he's got some gangland
I
tats.
feel like Ronz's Tevin is not African, is not black.
I figured pretty much Tevin would probably
He's like,
be
is
in
he white?
college.
Tromondae, is he white?
No,
No, he's not white.
unfortunately.
Is he employed?
Yes.
Locally?
You just naturally assume that he's not. Is that it? Is that it, Ronz?
Well, like I said, I thought he might be in college because he's the younger brother of Tromondae. So
How young do you
know
think
how old I am?
How
Tromondae
young
is?
do you think Tromondae is?
in his 20s or 30s.
Ooh, you just
Yeah,
got.
he's in his 30s, but he's not in his 20s.
He's got great genetics. Look how great he looks.
Don't be jealous.
Mm.
Don't be
you, Ron.
jealous.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, the Beaveman's going to be jealous here, but I'm not.
Why am
Ron,
I
I'm a
jealous?
lot closer to 40 than I am
Yeah.
30.
Honestly, I didn't
why am
know.
I jealous? Why am I jealous?
Because you're not going to be as good looking as the Tromondae when you get to that age.
I've already passed his age.
Right.
Oh,
And
What are you talking about?
He
Look,
doesn't
it's
know.
good.
It's the dementia. Oh, Ronz. He's trying to.
I love it.
He's
You know
trying
what?
to dig his foot out
No
of
one
his
believes
mouth.
you that you flip everything that I say. I mean, well,
I
they
didn't
probably do.
flip
anyway.
After he got it out of his
Yeah.
butt.
I didn't
So
flip it.
anyway, I'm trying to make sure it's not the same Tevin that we know. Right?
Ron, don't
'Cause
you
then-
Do you know there's probably like way more than 2 Tevins in this world?
See how many.
you know you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I will give you that.
I'm going to go about guarantee it's not the same person. Because I feel like by now, the Tromondae would have said, hey, you work with my brother.
Not really.
How,
You wouldn't know that.
how would he not? If you promote your podcast so much, Ronz, I'm pretty sure that you told your Tevin about our podcast, and he'd be like, hey, that's a coincidence. I have a brother named Tromondae that does a podcast.
And there's only 2 of
And
them in
there's-
the world
Exactly.
that we know of.
Yeah, so I just became Ron a little bit and I looked up something while we were recording.
You did?
So since 2018, there are 11,228 Tevins.
Wow.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the guy that Ronz works with, his name is Steven.
or better yet, Kevin.
Or Kevin.
With a
It's
K.
it's something like that. It's just not Tevin. Or worse, or he's actually Latino and his name is Esteban. And so he's like, oh, Tevin, nice to meet you.
No, poor
And
Ronz.
because he's also kind of brown, he just naturally assumes that it's probably your brother, Tromondae.
Yeah. Oh, Ron.
Ronz doesn't see color.
Right.
Oh God.
Don't ever be one of those people,
He
please.
is one of those
He is.
people.
Not anymore, he's not. Not anymore, he's not. You can't say, here's one of the things you got to say about Ronz. First of all, Ronz puts up with all of our shit.
Yes, I was good.
No shit.
Ronz plays his role very well, and you have to give Ronz a lot of credit for the shit that he puts up with.
I appreciate that.
But he also brings most of it on himself, which is good. But again, you have to be impressed that Ronz puts up with all this garbage that we give him.
I appreciate it.
It
I appreciate it.
doesn't really excuse his ignorance, but it's so funny. Anyway.
So
yeah.
I was, I thought about long and hard about
Penis.
Awkward pause again. I thought long and hard about.
Yeah, didn't we told you last week. Wasn't it last week we
It was
told you
last
that
week.
you picked the wrong time to pause? Because my brain, okay, I'm not a genius, but I've spent my entire life arming myself against bullies by using my mouth. Not that way, Ronz. Using my wit and using my sarcasm. So my brain thinks very quickly. If you pause, I'm going to fill in that pause.
So, when Ron
you're
thinks
correct.
long and hard
Penis about
about penis,
All of our minds
Correct.
went there, Ron.
all of our minds went there. So everybody else you have conversations with, that happens to too.
All right.
Carry
So I
on.
went back And I have a lesbian friend at work, and I said,
for
"What's
you,
one of
buddy."
the things that you would dispel about being gay?"
This is one of the longest. I thought Tromondae's segment was over, but you're bringing it right back around.
Well, because he doesn't really get too much airtime because he's never on. So I figure pretty much
He
we
gets
give
plenty
him a
of
little bit more.
airtime, but I don't think that he needs to have a whole half of the freaking time devoted
Excuse
to.
me,
I
it's
want to see
Pride
where
Month
Ronz is
for a
going
reason.
with. I want to see where Ronz is going
I
with
just
this.
think that it's interesting that he has a lesbian friend, and now he's going to ask her a bunch of obnoxious
I
questions.
feel like
And
how does
so,
yeah.
you know what? Next thing you know, Ron, she's going to bring her whole softball team around, and they're going to whoop your ass.
All right.
Why don't
I
you
will let
ask her?
this
Why
week
don't you
go.
ask her about if you're asking about all those myths and dispelling myths? Ask her. Ask her if she plays softball. There's a myth. There you go. They all play softball. How about that, Ronz? Try that one.
I will ask her that when I see her.
Now go ahead and ask your question because
Ask her if
Swan
she's-
wants to hear what question.
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
do.
ask.
Yeah.
So my question is, what other myths that need
Jesus, you
dispelled?
already asked that question.
All right,
I thought you were going to ask a more pinpoint question than that.
No, you were gonna tell us a story about
I'd much
what
rather
you,
hear
yeah.
about. I'd much rather hear about Swan's little old grandma
Starting.
shooting a nugget out her ass.
It was just a piece. It was just a little piece. But she did have to wash an extra load of laundry for that. I don't know why she couldn't just wash that pair of underwear in like a sink or
I'd have
something.
just thrown
But
that shit away. I'd have thrown
Yeah.
that shit away.
I mean, and if it
Yeah.
was just a little piece, it probably wasn't messy.
Oh my god.
I think what's important is that Ron, you really are asking very broad questions when you should just ask a more specific question.
Mhm.
Like what? Do you have one?
No, I'm just
Oh,
he
okay.
asked these very broad questions instead of just asking a specific one. Like here's a good one for me. Here's a good one. Like why do you use lotion all the time?
Mhm.
Like I had when I was in the army, obviously I didn't know black people where I grew up, but a lot of my friends in the army were black. And my good buddy, I would hang out in his room when we would get ready for the day because he lived in the barracks and I lived off post. And so, of course, he had like all this lotion. I'm like, why the fuck do you have so much lotion? He's like, because we get ashy. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, we get ashy. If we don't use lotion, we get ashy. That's a very specific question. Like, why do you guys use lotion all the time?
Mhm.
You're asking a very broad question. You're going, what myths
myths?
have you just spelled? I don't know. That unicorns are real. What myth are you asking? Ask a very specific question.
Well, the reason in general is because it's a very broad question because there are a lot of myths
that's
out
right.
there.
So
That's
pick
why
No,
you-
one
that's why
of
he's
them.
saying
That's why you pick one.
asking specific myth.
Yeah.
For example, is it a myth that all black guys are well hung? That's a specific
That
question.
is not a myth. They are most. Let's just put it. Okay, they are more well hung than most everybody
Wait,
else.
Yes.
wait. Swan said, Swan, have we seen?
Dude, I'm a freaking nurse.
We're
I've
both
seen I've
nurses.
seen probably more of both
True.
genitalia than you have.
I've seen
True.
a lot of nationalities' penises.
Yes.
Okay.
And Anna is
a lot
a
of
general
nationalities
rule.
and ethnicities. As a general rule, the Swan is correct. As a general rule, our black friends have much bigger dicks than everybody else.
But I mean, that one that doesn't, he's an exception, and he probably
he's
feels
still-
real bad about
Well,
it, and
and he's
it's still
still
bigger
bigger.
than most
And it's still bigger.
non-ethnic people.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The only ones that I would say that are pretty statistically very similar that I've seen are people from like the Middle East. They also have some big hunkers that I've seen.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm.
Very dark hunkers.
Yeah.
They're very dark. Their genitals are very dark. You know, I mean, like I bob and I'm like, oh yeah.
Like, that looks kind of like an anteater. A little scary. A little
Not
scary.
an anteater.
A little scary.
Wow.
Like an elephant trunk. A little scary. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at the Ronz. He's just imagining.
Now he's like, oh yeah.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
think
because-
long and hard.
No, because I'm trying to choose my
About-
words how to comment without it being thrown right back at me.
You gotta make it funny, man. You just don't
Just go
pause
with
and
it,
make
Ron.
it creepy. Like, that's what we're making it funny. You pause and you make it creepy.
Okay, I get that. I get that.
See, I can talk about penises and be funny. You talk about them, it sounds like I don't know what it sounds like. It doesn't sound great.
Well, first of all, your profession allows you to talk about it, and you have a background in it.
I got
So
a
if I
background
talk
in
about it,
genitalia.
if I talk about it, I don't have that professional
like
background that you have, and then it seems creepy.
I have a major in nursing and a minor in genitalia.
There you go. There you go.
Now Tremondae's intrigued about the whole Middle Eastern really dark genitals.
He's like,
I know, right?
Super dark, eh?
You notice he had to take off his glasses so we could look what he was actually looking up.
Super dark, you say?
They've been off, Ron.
Yeah, look how observant you are. You're
When
not
I
even...
started hollering at the Beaveman and his diabetes joke at the funeral.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
That was a good one.
Yeah, I don't even know what we talked about today.
we've not had very many funny stories that happened except for my grandma's shorten.
No, that was pretty funny. My
I
stories are enraging. Yeah,
I laughed this entire setting.
I didn't have any stories because I always get mad. So
yeah, I mean our own family story. We already talked about it. How we talked about Grandpa's penis at the table. That was pretty funny.
I don't even those children. I don't know about those two.
Yeah.
They're goofy.
And not once did I knew we were leading where you were leading me. I didn't mention anything related to a certain subject that I know you want me to mention.
You want to.
No, I didn't want. We just wanted to see how well you would, if you could handle yourself. But you maintained. You're okay.
I did.
You did all right.
I did.
You did all right.
I did.
All right. Well, let me see. Updates. Any updates? Here's an update for you. Swan doesn't know how to use Instagram.
She doesn't. But I bet Tromondae doesn't either.
Oh, he does.
Nope.
I don't have a single post on Instagram.
See? I don't feel bad then.
Yeah.
Ronz, can I get some tech help from you then?
No.
I'll meet you at the library.
Yeah.
In 1993.
Yeah, she can teach you how to access your email.
Awesome.
He can set up a Hotmail account for you, Swan.
Right.
AOL.com.
That still exists.
Yeah, that's probably your first email. No, it's not even going to be your first email address.
Zero. He's got some net zero going on.
Yeah.
Net zero.
Oh, net zero Juno. Wow. Rocket Mail. That's going back a ways.
Okay,
We've
spiked a interest of Ron's.
No. I also looked up a comedy thing of how to develop a comedy.
How to develop comedy.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Be funny. Be
funny. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like there was this process about it. It's like if you have a voice, which I'll allude to earlier podcast, is how you develop that voice. It doesn't become a character. And I thought that was so cool.
Tromondae's dying. I don't know if he's going to be okay over there.
Oh my gosh. Ron said, how to develop comedy. You look that up?
Actually, it was a mini lecture on it, and I was intrigued by it.
And you sat and watched it?
Yeah, I did actually. I did. Actually, if you look it up, it's Mike Myers who gives it.
There.
No, it was Mike Myers who gives it.
That's how to develop Canadian comedy.
However, the way he set it up was like his dad would not allow anybody in the house that wasn't funny. Right, and he went through the process of how he came up with some of his characters.
Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this exactly?
Just something I thought was funny.
I just want to know, what was your line of thought to start bringing up this particular?
Well, you wanted to know what we were doing this week, and I thought that was great. When was the last time?
Who said that?
Oh, hold on, I'm getting there. It's like, have we been funny?
Was that a question in your head?
Yes, in my head. Oh. So I was thinking that it's.
I like penis.
We all know you like penis. We do, right? But do you like Tromondae's penis versus the Beaveman's?
Why would I like?
Why would you?
Why would you even go?
What?
Oh boy.
I'm grasping at straws because you guys keep backing me into a corner.
Just put your hands in your pocket, Ron. Don't grasp for anything.
Don't touch it. No.
Just Thump it, Ron. Do that. Thump it.
Yeah. We were actually
Okay.
taught, I was actually taught that by a senior nurse. She said if somebody gets a, that's what you do. She's like, you freaking thump it one. I was like, okay, good to know.
You're
I'm
like,
like, hopefully
"Thank
that
you."
won't happen to me too often, but should it? She's like, pow, slap it one.
Unless they're what do you say, guys?
Not on
Who do
my
you say
watch.
were the other Hun guys? Who do you say were the other Hun guys?
What do you say to him? What?
I say, who
What-
did you say
what?
were the other Hun guys?
Middle
Who are the
Eastern.
other? Oh,
Oh, the Middle Eastern. Unless like
Middle
one of them have a hard on, then you thump it and then it like bounces back and.
Hit you in the face, and you're like, "Ooh, duck, duck."
Exactly. That's why you practice shadow boxing, dodge the penis.
Ron's is like, sign me up.
You dodge the penis. See, you dodge the penis, and then you punch him in the balls like it's a freaking speed bag.
You guys are gonna go to the dojo one day, and then there's gonna be like black garbage bags over all the windows.
Oh, yeah.
I know what I should do is actually, you know, how you have like the pads and stuff that people hit. I should just make a big penis that's really that line. Just have him dodge it, punch it, dodge it, punch it.
And he'll be like, bring it on.
He misses, takes it in the face. Oh.
Poor Ron's. He's like, I'll just be quiet over here because anything I say is gonna be used against me.
It is.
That
I should just get that.
Mix it up a bit, have a bunch of different colored penises.
He's like, I don't see color.
It should be just that, you know.
I don't see color. Well, it's interesting you don't see color. For some reason, you're able to dodge the white one, but the black one, you keep taking it. That one you just keep getting in the face. I don't know how that was slipping by you if you don't see color. I don't.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's.
So, you know,
this hurts so bad. This hurts.
What's even better is a shout out to all who listen and to some of the locals.
How's that even better?
No, I'll get to that in a second. Is that when they listen, they're like, man, the Beaveman really comes after you. It's like, well, because he's got a huge penis. But when he,
What?
you know, it's like,
Why?
Wait a
Not to
minute,
make it
wait a minute.
creepy, or I don't make it creepy.
So,
no, it's like they don't believe until they listen to the podcast that
you,
whatever
wait
I
a minute.
say.
You tell people that I come after you because I have a huge penis. You have.
I don't.
Okay, I'm like, if you've actually said that, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why would you?
No. But I say, whatever I say, he flips. So I've got
you're
to
Middle
kind of,
Eastern.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
amen.
Oh God, yeah, Jesus, no. Just took a penis in the
Help me.
face.
Help me.
Oh God,
Help me.
I didn't dodge that penis. Look out for that penis right here.
I say, whatever I say, I got to be careful because the Beaveman and the Swan will switch it on me real quick. Now the thing about the Swan is she'll choose whoever's winning. The voice of reason is Tromondae, though. Whatever I tend to say, if I say it wrong, Tromondae kind of steps in and says, "This is how Ron's meant to say it," and then I'm like, "Yeah, that's how I meant to say it." But the
Even, like,
Beaveman,
sometimes he can't even
thank God,
defend
he made
you.
me sound it.
Yeah, sometimes I can't.
Really try. Really
He's
try.
like, I tried.
Try. Let me just keep
sometimes he's
cutting it
just
out.
like, "I don't want to defend you because I know where it's going to go," but I do appreciate it.
Yes, he does appreciate it. All right. Well, that's it for me from the Beaveman. What a fun time just laughing. And as always, you remember you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. Still not on Pandora for some reason. I think it's because we talk about penises. I don't know. TuneIn Plus, Alexa, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Pocket Cast, anywhere you want to listen to podcasts. And of course, the Ron's favorite, Deezer.
Well, yeah, these are.
And of course,
Shout out to
no,
you.
I'm not done.
No.
I'm not done. When I say adios, smooch fuckos, then you can do your thing. It's not new.
Okay, first of all, when you're making love to the Swan, is that what you say when you're done?
First of all, I don't make love to the Swan. Never have, never will. I don't make love.
When you're in mid-coitus, you yell.
We
"Adios,
don't do that
motherfucker."
either.
Don't call it coitus either.
But what do you call it then?
I call it fucking, Ronz. That's what I call it.
All right. So when
I'm
you're
not-
fucking, you yell
I'm not,
adios,
first of all,
fuckos.
I'm not a 1940s romance novel. No, I don't call it making
You know
love.
what? You're right.
People who call it, I just want
correct.
to.
I was trying to be politically correct. It's
Thanks
my
for
fault.
trying to be politically correct on our politically correct
Correct
podcast.
I just
Yeah,
want
fuck
her
that.
to look like the powdered donut.
I want every fantasy I've ever had has looked like little powdered donut from now until the end of time.
And
There you
I
go.
want little powdered donut as she is today, not 22-year-old hot, tight little powdered donut.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Swan,
I
tight
didn't
little
say
donut.
that.
I'm just saying.
Oh, so you don't want that?
What? No, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you don't like what you have?
Digging it deep, digging it in.
Yeah, there we go. There's that coin flip.
Oh, Lord.
There's that coin flip.
Anyway, you can also find us on Buzzsprout. Our website is the slaptailsquad.buzzsprout.com. And that's all I had to say before I was so rudely interrupted by the Ronz. That's it from me. Adios. Mooch.
Oh, penis?
Fuckos.
Where'd that come from?
I was inserting a pause when, like you do, Ronz. I was just putting in words there that do usually go there when you pause.
Adios, Mooch Fuckos.
Bye from the Swan.
Deuces.
Shout out to JD for his podcast, The Monsters Lair. Thanks for a couple weeks ago for being out there. And
It's actually just last week, Ronz.
yeah, thank you.
He's just
keep
trying to
correcting me.
not.
It was the
He's just
podcast
trying to
that-
not get made fun of, so he's
It was
like
the
going to say
podcast that we
something
literally just
positive.
released on Sunday.
Yeah. And on a more personal note, thanks for the Beaveman for being who he is, and the Swan and Tromondae, because it's great to see Tromondae again. And stay sane, motherfuckers. It's crazy out there.
And go home and just make love to those that you're intimate with. Making love is
Using
Just
Swiss
please-
Navy lube.
make love.
Maybe do some coitus.
All right, yeah.
Just don't let a piece come out.
No pieces.
Unless you're into that, and that's okay. And on a final note, Ronz,
Yes. I don't know how the JJ works.